Hopefully you've already worked with some of the different little robotic game type simulations, but they're rather limited in what they do, which is part of the design of the game, right? They don't have the full capacity that you'd expect from a real robotic arm, right? So for an actual simulation, we need something a bit better. So what I'd like to show you is a simulation through Wolfram CDF player. Now to get this, we're just going to open pretty much any browser. If you search up robotic manipulator workspace and then Wolfram, that should bring it up. Here we go. So this is what we want right here, the robotic manipulator workspaces Wolfram demonstration project. So if we click on that, this is essentially what I'm talking about, and it goes over some of the things that you should have looked over recently before this. So to install this, we need quite a bit of room. So if I go into my system preferences or my about this Mac and look at the current storage space, I've got a lot of storage. So I've got plenty. You probably need at least 6 gigabytes for the install. It's not going to need all 6 once everything is installed, but between the installation files and then actually installing it and then running it and all that, you probably need about 6 gigabytes. So check on this first, and if you need some space, then clear up some space. If you're on a computer at school, you might need to talk to whoever has administrative access over those to clean up some room if it's too full and if it's not your account eating up all that space. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and download the desktop. This part is small, right? So if we look at this, 415 kilobytes, that's quick, that's no big deal. It's the Wolfram notebook system that's large. So if we download this, you will have to fill this out if you don't already have it installed. And as we can see on mine, I don't have it installed on this machine yet. If you're not comfortable filling this out, talk to your administrator and get them to go ahead and help you with that. So this part's also pretty small, right? The 2.3. So you might be saying, well, I thought you said it was big. This is just downloading the installer. The software then itself, the CDF player, will then be installed through that installer. So this is not the actual CDF player. So we'll do this, and then we try running it. And this is the part that's going to take a while. We go ahead and double click this, and we can tell it to open, and it starts. And this is the part that takes a while, right? So go ahead and let that run and check out the other video where I show off how the actual program works, and then we'll come back to this, right? And you can see if it's ready or not yet, right? We're going to have a couple steps like this where we have to go sort of back and forth and wait for a while. So we'll have this, and then before it actually installs, we'll also have to verify, and that takes a few minutes as well. So I'm going to go ahead and skip to the end of this so that way you don't have to just sit here and watch it run forever. So now that this is finished, we can go ahead and tell it to launch, except it won't actually launch yet. So now we get to sit here and wait for it to verify. And in this step, essentially what it's trying to make sure is that the file that we've downloaded has what it's supposed to have in there, and that nobody has injected like any malicious code or any sort of spyware or something like that. It's not perfect, but it's better than not having any sort of verification at all. But you do have to wait for it to do this now. Alright, so now that it's done verifying, do we have it in here? No, we still don't actually have it in here. So it verified this installation. So now we can drag it in here, and we can probably wait some more. Right, so now we have to wait again. And look at the file size on that. This is why I was saying that you probably need about 6 gigabytes, right? So we had that first one, which was only like, I don't know, a couple megabytes. And then we had that installation file, which was almost a gigabyte or around a gigabyte. And now we have this one at 3.62 gigabytes. So that's why it eats up so much room. All right, so now that we've done that and we've waited for it to download and to verify and to install and to download the installer and to actually install and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, it should actually be done now. And if we look, there it is. So if we open it, there you go. This is how it should look, right? So we're not going to work directly in the Wolfram CDF player. Instead, we're going to open pre-existing projects made by other users. But to do so, we need this. So yeah, that's fun. Hopefully you've gone through most of the videos and you're not having to like sit there and watch it just load, right? So between this and the other video, it's probably what, about 20 minutes, right? So that should be enough time, hopefully, for yours to install if you've been bouncing back and forth.